How's it going, everybody? I'm here once again with Sean Bock. How's it going, Sean?
Going well, Noah. Conference tournament underway. Ready to break down the second group of them, so let's get going.
Absolutely. So today we're going to be breaking down the SEC tournament. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. Unlike years past, the SEC was one of the best conferences in all of college basketball, thanks to the surprising rise to prominence for teams like Auburn, Tennessee, and Missouri. There's a good chance that the league will send 9 teams to the NCAA tournament. Whether or not there's a national championship contender in this conference is questionable, but Tennessee, Kentucky, and Florida, among others, are getting hot at the right time, so expect to see a healthy SEC representation in the second weekend at the very least. Over the next few minutes, we're going to be breaking down this tournament from every angle. We're going to start with the biggest storylines, then break down the bracket from a bracketology standpoint, and pick a dark horse and champion. We've done this for the ACC and Big East already, and we'll be doing it for the Pac-12 and Big 12 as well. Links are in the description below if you want to check those episodes out. But as for this show, let's hop right into it. Sean, let's get to you. What are some of the biggest SEC tournament storylines this year?
Well, with the tournament being in St. Louis, it offers a new era for SEC fans. I've heard a lot of mixed reactions from it. I know Bryce Drew, Vanderbilt head coach, said in the teleconference this week that he really liked it. He thinks that the atmosphere in St. Louis is going to be really fun, especially with the Arch Madness stuff going on. The next one is, do we see Michael Porter Jr. come back? Much of Mizzou's season has revolved around the eventual return of FPJ. Will it be worth for him to make his return? I've heard from people that he looks good in practice, but I'm not really sure it's worth the risk of injuring himself even more. Mizzou is currently an 8 seed according to Lenardi, so I really don't think they need him. I mean, it'd be cool to have him back, but the Tigers really seem to be playing well without him, and his presence would probably be a huge distraction at this point. Even one media outlet predicted Porter Jr. would come back and lead Missouri to a SEC title, so, I mean, I don't know if that's false hope or what, but we'll see. Then the last point is this field is really wide open. Yes, Tennessee and Auburn are at the top, probably the most surprising teams to be at the top of the conference at the end of the day. But, I mean, teams like Kentucky and Florida have been playing some pretty good ball recently. And I mean, they can make some noise in the conference tournament. Even a team like Alabama or Texas A&M has potential to make a run. So it should be an interesting couple days in St. Louis. Noah, what you got with the bracketology?
All right, as of my Monday projections, I have 8 SEC teams in the field. On the 3 line, we have Auburn and Tennessee. I had Auburn as a 1 seed a couple of weeks ago, but a rough finish bumped them back a few spots. Then on the 5 line, we have Florida, who as of recording had the 4th most Quadrant 1 wins in the country with 9. On the 6 seed line, I have 3 SEC teams, which would technically be impossible if we had 2 3 seeds from the same conference, which is something that I try to ignore as much as possible. Namely, I have Kentucky, Texas A&M, and Arkansas as 6 seeds. Kentucky and Texas A&M are 2 teams that have bounced around the bracket all season long, while Arkansas has had more of a gradual ascension to the 6th line. We also have Missouri as a 9 seed. Provided the Tigers win their first game in the SEC tournament, they will be a lock in the field. Now, let's talk about Alabama. Now, it is extremely rare that you see a team with 14-plus losses in the NCAA tournament as an at-large bid, but that could very well be the case with the Crimson Tide because they have so many good wins and such a tough strength of schedule. However, any amount of good wins can be canceled out by a high number of losses. If Alabama is to qualify for an at-large bid, they would have 15 losses, which to me should knock them out of at-large consideration regardless of how many elite wins they have. With that being said, there is not a single bubble team that can match Bama's total of elite wins, so it is truly hard to tell at this point. My personal prediction is that Alabama is out with a first-round loss to Texas A&M. I think that they need to win that game and the Auburn game to be safe. Otherwise, they will be sweating out Selection Sunday. Now let's move on to our SEC tournament predictions. Sean, who is your dark horse in this bracket, and who do you have winning it all?
I'm going to go with the Texas A&M Aggies for my dark horse. They put together a decent non-conference run, but starting out 0-5 in the SEC was not a good look for them. But they turned it around a little bit. Now they're 9-9 SEC play that beat Auburn on the road in early February. Currently, they're on a 3-game winning streak, and in my opinion, possess the talent to make a run in the SEC tournament. Robert Williams and Tyler Davis are a tough duo to stop. Robert Williams has had his struggles this year, but Davis has been putting up good numbers, and I can see him continuing that trend in the conference tournament. My one concern, though, with the Aggies is point guard play. The injury of J.J. Caldwell, the Aggies have really had to rely on freshman T.J. Starks, who has done a good job, but his turnovers are just, he had 6 the other day, which is really concerning to me. And you can't do that in March. And Edmond Gilder is the only other point guard that, or he's not really a point guard, but can bring up the ball and run the offense, but I don't really consider him a true point guard. The play of Starks is really going to pick up, and Gilder too, depending on how Starks performing, but Williams, Davis are really going to need to bring it every game if they want to make a run in this tournament. And with my favorite, like I said, this tournament is wide open. I know Auburn and Tennessee are the top seed. They've been playing great this year, but I just really have an infatuation with this Florida team. This Gators, they're playing really well right now and really just piecing things together well on the offensive end. Jalen Hudson's been on a tear as of late, and I can honestly see this team beat anyone if they're hitting from three-point line, which I think they will be in St. Louis. This team lost their first game of the conference tournament last year and went on to make the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament, so they know what it takes. I'm not predicting another deep run in the Big Dance, but I think there's a really good chance for them to make a run at the SEC crown if they can put it together on the offensive end and also duplicate that performance on the defensive side of things. So I like the Gators in the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I think that Florida is a really big if, because if they can hit their three-point shots, there is not many teams in college basketball they can beat them. But they are so overly reliant on the three-point shot that if they're not falling, which has been the case at times this year, they really don't have a good chance because they have nothing else to fall back on. So that's what kind of shied me away from Florida and led me to taking Auburn as my projected champion. I talked earlier in the season about the strength of Auburn's character, and I think that that will be evident this week. The Tigers have not played their best basketball as of late, and one of their best players, Anthony McLemore, is out for the season, but the toughness of this team leaves no doubt in my mind that they will be prepared for this event. There are a lot of good SEC teams, but there's just something a little bit more special about this Auburn team that just makes me gravitate towards them. And then my dark horse is Missouri, kind of a risky pick, but if they can get Michael Porter Jr. back in time, there's a chance that they could be extremely dangerous. Now, granted, I am not guaranteeing that Porter will play a bunch of minutes and score a bunch of points. I'm not also guaranteeing that he's going to return. That is still up for grabs as I speak. I honestly don't know what to expect. But in the scenario that Porter does return and plays like the generational talent that he is, or in the very least steps up as a consistent scoring threat, Missouri instantly becomes an extremely dangerous opponent to anyone in this bracket. All right, that is going to do it for this show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed. Sean, thank you for joining me.
Yep, thanks for having me on, Noah.
It was a blast as always. Once again, links are in the description below if you want to check out the other episodes in this series. But as for this show, I'm out. I'll see you guys later.